Get started. It's 12:02. Hello everyone. My name is Barbara St. John, and I want to welcome you to our second West Point Survivor Community webinar. The Survivor community has been created to share, connect, and communicate with our West Point Survivor families. We do this through programming like this webinar, through events here at West Point and locally during reunions and at Founders Days, and through communication. And so for today, I want to do just a couple of housekeeping notes before I introduce our speaker. As you just heard, this session is being recorded. There will be a Q&A session at the end. If you are not comfortable with asking a question because it is being recorded, we will have our speaker, Chaplain Williamson's contact information available at the end so that you could reach out to him directly or to anybody here at AOG. We have some AOG colleagues on the call as well. My colleague Gretchen is here with me right now in New York. We've got Stephanie Erickson who will be monitoring the chat. That's another option. If you'd like to put a question in the chat, Stephanie will be monitoring that. And we've also got Sue Irons, our Veterans Services Specialist, who's also on the call, and you'll hear from at the end of the session. Gretchen and I will actually be disappearing midway through. We do have a family that will be supporting this afternoon here at West Point. So you'll be in the very, very capable hands of Chaplain Williamson, Stephanie, and Sue. So our speaker is Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel retired Don Williamson. He's a member of the class of 1994, and he has recently retired after 37 years as a soldier, a military police officer, and an Army chaplain. His career took him from Iraq and Afghanistan to garrisons across Germany and the United States, where he walked with soldiers and families through loss, transition, and healing. Before chaplaincy, he spent 9 years in ministry with Young Life and is ordained by the North American Baptist Convention. Don holds degrees from Liberty Theological Seminary and Regents College. In retirement, he continues counseling, mentoring, and supporting military families as they navigate grief and rediscover purpose. Personally, I had the privilege of working with Don on doing several funerals with him here at West Point, and in his retirement, he is generously giving us his time through efforts like today and other programming that you'll hear about. And we appreciate him. We love him. He's such a kind person. And I think you're really going to enjoy everything that he has prepared for you today. So with that, I will turn it over to Dawn.
Awesome. Thank you. It is just such a privilege to be here with all of you. And, as Barbara said, I've had the privilege of being able to walk with folks during times of grief. Probably the highlight of my career was being able to be the garrison chaplain at West Point. I came full circle. In fact, July of 2020 was 30 years to the day of our day for me. And so that was a wild thing. And I thought, man, I'm going to finish my career here. And then the Army had other plans. They said, hey, what would it take for you to not retire right away, but to do one more tour? And my wife's like, well, they sent us back to Germany. And so the branch said, well, we'll send you back to Germany. So did 3 more years, and now I'm just retired. I'm on retirement leave, and my final out will be on the 31st of March. But I'm here because I really am just so excited about and inspired by what we're doing with the Association of Graduates for our, for those who have lost loved ones. I think the biggest thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands is that we are here together because we share this common bond of our rock-bound Highland home and the things that inspire us because of that: duty, honor, country, and this incredible community that we have together. And so that's really why when Gretchen and Barbara asked me if I would be a part of this, I was just really so honored to be able to do that. And so hopefully this will be a blessing to you guys as we get through that. As you can see from this first slide, the idea is to honor the strength and legacy of West Point families, right? And so we're gonna be together. I love Alfred Tennyson's line on the bottom of this slide. It says, "Hope smiles from the threshold of the year to come, whispering it will be happier." You know, each of us carries a story of strength, of love, and of courage. And when we gather like this, we're reminded that none of us walks this journey alone. And so today we're talking about honoring traditions while embracing new paths, supporting families through transitions and strengthening our shared mission. But we're also going to do something deeper. We're going to reflect. What I like to say is we're going to reflect on the river of life that each of us travels. You know, sometimes that river is calm, sometimes it's turbulent, sometimes it feels like it's carrying us faster than we can keep up. And yet, even in the strongest currents, we find people and practices that keep us afloat. We find lifesavers and we find life givers, those moments and connections that help us breathe again and move forward. So again, I want to thank you for showing up and thank you for bringing your story here. So let's begin. Before we kind of get started, I want to start with something maybe a little bit lighter, right? You know, over the past few weeks, many of us have been asked, so how were your holidays? How were the holidays for you? And sometimes the honest answer feels a little closer to this. Okay, so, well, sorry. So maybe that's not you didn't have that kind of a Griswold moment, um, but maybe you know maybe you did, and you just didn't have a chance to experience it. Because grief has a way of making even ordinary seasons feel heavier. The holidays can be beautiful and meaningful, and they can also be complicated, exhausting, and unexpectedly emotional. So before we kind of dive in here, I want to tell you that I'm super excited that everyone is here, and whatever brings you here, and the reasons for that. But what I'd love to do is we're going to have a quick time of introductions. Now, some of you are like, "Oh my gosh, how are we going to do this with 37 people?" Really easy. I'd love if we could start, and I'll call on each person in turn. Just give your name, tell us where you're calling from, give us one word to describe the holidays, and then one thing you hope for in 2026. So I see I have the group here, and so I'll start. I'm Don Williamson, and I'm calling from Stuttgart, Germany. One word to describe the holidays was chaotic. And then one thing that I hope for in 2026 is calm transition for me. Hope that makes sense. All right, we're going to start. I have my friends here, Stephanie and Sue Iron. So we're going to start with it. Stephanie, give us your name, where you're calling from, one word describe. You see the introductions there. So
I'm calling in from the San Antonio, Texas area. One word to describe the holidays, joyful. And one thing I hope for in 2026 is just to spend time with family and friends.
all right, thanks. All right, Sue.
Hi, I'm here in South Dakota, southeastern South Dakota, and my description for the holidays was exciting. We added a new grandchild to our family on January 2nd, and she has had some health complications. And so for 2026, we hope to have a healthy and for all of us, I guess that's my one word for 26 is health. So that's it.
Thanks, Sue. Mm-hmm. All right, Jill. Oh, you're still muted, Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill. I'm calling from Augusta, Georgia. A word for the holidays would be grateful. We just had our first grandchild, so we were thrilled about that. And they're about 3 hours away in Atlanta. And what I hope for in 2026 is progress.
Thanks, Jill. All right. All right, Nancy McIntyre. Can you unmute for us, Nancy? I know it's always tough.
Okay. I'm from Westchester, Pennsylvania. I have just moved here recently to be near family. So I was grateful to be with family at Christmas. And I thought the word progress just used was great for this next year.
That's great. Thank you, Nancy. Oh, so Joanne Flynn.
Yeah, Joanne Flynn, Scottsdale, Arizona. Very cold today. And the holidays were difficult and raw. It has been a new experience for us. Looking for comfort in the year ahead.
Thanks, Joanne. Art. You're still muted, Art. Still muted. I can't unmute you.
There we go. How's that?
There we go. Yeah, all right. That's good.
Sorry. Yeah, Art, class of 77. I'm calling from Richmond, Virginia. Live down here with not with, but the same area as my 4 adult children and their families. So describing Christmas this year without Karen, who we lost over the summer, I'd say was different. Obviously, it was we did the best we could to kind of keep things the same, but at the end of the day, it was different. Hopeful for this year to continue to make progress.
Thanks, Art. Okay, Bunny. Oh, still can't hear you, Bunny. I don't know why. You're unmuted, but I can't hear you. I don't know why. Oh, still can't hear you. I'm sorry. All right. Nope. Well, Bunny, if you want, you could send a chat and tell us those things in the chat. Yeah. All right. All I have here is I just have iPhone. So, which I think is several people, but can you hear me, sir?
John Cornelson,
Hey, John.
class of 61. Don, you did my wife's funeral a few years back in West.
I did.
Christmas this year was disappointing. In the future, I look forward to improvement.
Thanks, John. I have Susan's iPad. Nope, not yet. Get it. Down below there.
There, how's that?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. My name is Susan Helsel. I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm going to use the word different too for the holidays. They were different, but filled with family, which was wonderful. And in 2026, I'm just hoping to find purpose and my joy again.
Thanks, Susan. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Christine Miles. Gotta unmute here. Nope, still muted. Still muted. Nope. I'm sorry.
Let's try this. How about
There
this?
you go. There you go. Yep.
Golly. Okay. I am Christine Miles, and right now I'm calling from Florida. I'll be here for a few weeks. The holidays, I would say, joyful despite the emptiness. And for 26, I'm looking for clarity on this new path.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Jenny Logan.
I'm trying to figure this out here. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right.
Okay, good. Jenny Logan, I'm from Reno, Nevada. My deceased husband was class of 54. This holiday season was better than I expected, which is I feel I am going down a path for 2026 that is new, unfamiliar, and I'm learning to cut the tags off the pillows. So so it's new traditions, new ways for me. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Jenny. Deborah Rudder.
I'm Deborah Rudder, and I'm calling from Front Royal, Virginia. This is the second Christmas since my husband George died, class of 48. And I'm finding the holidays good, and that I'm still invested in doing supply work as a clergy person in the church and keeping connected to community, and kind of a good experience with family, and kind of focusing on their needs after a number of years of all of us kind of focusing around George's ill and aging issues. So it's hopeful, but I'm finding a new appreciation for the really good years we had together, although they were after his service. But very active person in his church life with me, and I can see what a value he was in his work that way, and enjoying getting to know his children on another level as well. Looking forward to things growing and changing in a good way.
Thanks, Deborah. If you guys are just joining us, we're in the process of doing our introductions, and just give us your name, where you're calling from, one word to describe the holidays, and then maybe one thing you hope for in 26. Lori Lehman.
Hi, I'm Lori. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'd say my one word would probably be difficult, and my hope for next year would be a smooth transition as I'm thinking of retirement.
Thanks, Lori. All right, Roberta. Gotta unmute for me.
Is that better?
There we go. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Roberta Yorty. My late husband was class of 64. And my Christmas was peaceful and joyous. And I'm looking forward to hopefully peace around the world in the coming year.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Roberta.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Allardyce.
Hello, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Allardyce, and I'm here today in Durham, North Carolina. My new year was a very quiet one. I spent my time being grateful for the things to be grateful for. And my prayer for the year coming up is to be able to continue to engage in activities that honor my husband's legacy.
Thank you, Elizabeth. All right. Mary. Yep. You just got to unmute for me.
I would say that my Christmas, I'm calling from Northern Virginia. I would say that my Christmas was conflicted. I was spending it with two grandchildren that, love Santa Claus. So that's a riot. But also I had just lost a sibling a couple months before. So I didn't know how I felt. And then I'm very hopeful that things are better next year everywhere in all kinds of ways.
Thank you. All right, and our second Mary with I got books all behind you there, so it's definitely you, ma'am. If you want to try and unmute. All right. Okay, so I have iPhone 9, sir. That's what I see here. You got to unmute there, sir. Nope, still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you go. Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, this is John Straight in Austin, Texas. Christmas was fine. Looking forward to continuing my, solitary new lifestyle this coming year.
Okay, thank you. All right. Marianne, I have Marianne's iPad. Can you hear me? If you don't want to, it's okay. I tell you what, if you don't have your camera on, I'm just going to assume that we're just you guys are here to listen, and that's okay. But we'll keep going. So the next person I see that has a camera on is Nicole. Nicole.
Yes, hello. I think the sound is very bad. I'm calling from Belgium, and my husband was from class of 58.
Thank you, Nicole.
Christmas was quiet with friends and family.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, I have next person I can see is Marilyn Baird.
I am, my husband was class of 68. I'm from Burke, Virginia, Northern Virginia. And the blessing for me is one daughter lives 6 minutes, the other lives 20, and I have 5 grandchildren. So that's always a lot of joy on a constant basis. Now, the thing I'm looking forward to, I'm a member of Gold Star Spouses of America, and we have our convention in April here. We work on the Hill for bills for survivors, and one of them is to increase our DIC. The other is for Love Lives On. So I look forward to just being on the Hill. I visited 60 offices in 3 days last year. So if anybody wants to join, we would love to have anyone help with that. Okay.
That's right. Give it a little bit more. Let's work for you and share the load. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. All right, friends. Well, we're going to keep moving. If you did not have your camera on, please, it's nothing. Please don't be offended. I'm just moving on because we have lots of folks that are keeping their camera off, and that's totally okay. I do want to share my screen, and we will kind of move on to our next part here. So remember, I talked to you a little bit about that life is a river, right? So if you look at this, you can see that this is I'm going to call this the river of life, and on the top is those orange; those are called contributaries. In the middle is the life-giving dam, and sometimes things move over the spillway. And our life flows, and we're living in the contributaries, right? Stress doesn't come from nowhere; it flows in from all directions. Work, loss, change, uncertainty. They feed the current, and sometimes we don't even notice how much is flowing in until the river starts to rise and starts to move over, right? And so when that happens, we may get to a place when something's happened, and you know, obviously, most of us are here because we're survivors, right? We're survivors of a loss that has happened either recently or 10, 15, 20 years ago, but it's still a loss, and it still can sometimes affect us. Just as when you were sharing about how the holidays were, some people said that it was difficult, some people said it was different. It may have gotten to the point where it was really hard for the holidays, and you may have got to that point where you have thoughts of despair or depression, and it seems really like it's out of control. I mean, when the river carries too much weight, we can feel it. And it's important, though, to know that the thoughts of despair or depression, they aren't signs of weakness. They're signals. It's the river of life saying this is too much for one person to carry alone. And yet sometimes we think we can. And we think, I don't really want to bother somebody. I don't really want to make that phone call. I don't really want to make the time to reach out to somebody, because people say, hey, if you need anything, call. But I've experienced that before, and I think they're just kind of being nice, right? And so we get to a place where we start to have loneliness and isolation, which can lead to unhealthy behaviors. Maybe it's overeating. Maybe it's staying in and binge watching on Amazon Prime or Netflix and not being social. Maybe it's not answering emails or answering phone calls. Whatever it is, it's just we get to this place where we feel like we don't have support, and so we drift and we pull away and we lose sight of the shore. And sometimes we do turn to those unhealthy behaviors to stay afloat. The hard part is that if those are left unchecked, it can lead to harm. It can lead to harm to ourselves or to others. And this is why community matters. It's why connection matters. And this is why we gather. This is why we're doing what we're doing with the Survivor Network. I'm so excited to be a part of this. This past November, I had the opportunity to come to the Veterans Day celebration that we had at West Point, and to be able to walk with some of the survivors and just do a meditative walk and be able to share with folks and be a part of it with their grief. And that's really what the hope is that you would understand that you're not alone in this process. And so what are some ways to offer help in a crisis? Well, we have three things. If you look down at that place where somebody might have hurt themselves, it's the place. It's what we call postvention. We have help for people who injure themselves, or for those who are affected by something that's happened. Right? We do postvention. We spend time with people. We're there for them. And then there's prevention. At the end of this webinar, you're going to hear of all the things that West Point AOG has to offer for our survivors. They're also going to have opportunities with other organizations that you can reach out and be a part of, and give back. And hopefully, if you're in need of help, you can find a peer support group. Those preventions. But the last one is really where we're focused today, and I like to call it recovery first aid. It's improving the recovery of persons experiencing grief and loss. And that's what the hope is for this seminar, and what's going to happen when we have additional webinars down the line, is that you would continue to come back and have community. If all of you were to come back, we've had as many as 80 people signed up, and and we have 38 folks that are here right now, which I think is awesome. If you come back each week, you're going to get each month, you're going to get a chance to see these people from all over the world, whether it's Belgium or Arizona or North Carolina, and you're going to see that we're not alone. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about this idea of lifesavers and life givers, because through it all, we need both. We need lifesavers and we need life givers. And so let's begin as we get to there. Now, here's the deal, my friends. We are going to talk about these things, and we're going to have an opportunity to have some breakout sessions where you're just going to be in a group. Maybe you've never met these people before. Maybe you've seen them from other Survivor Network things, or maybe your classmates. Whatever it is, however you're going to be in the breakout groups, it's an opportunity for us to talk about that. And so when we talk about lifesavers, it's what keeps us afloat, right? It's people, rituals, and structures that kept us afloat when the current felt the strongest. I purposely put here in the background Lusk Reservoir. All of us know Lusk Reservoir if we were cadets, or because that was part of our knowledge, right? What's the number of the gallons over the spillway, or if you've ever gone to any games, Lusk Reservoir is always there. And when it's really running hard, you can see it moving over the spillway. And so I really want to get an opportunity for us to think right now about the traditions that grounded you, like the people who showed up, the structures. Maybe it's faith, maybe it's community, maybe it's therapy, maybe it's support groups that held you steady, right? These are the things that kept us from going under. So what we're going to do now, because this is all about participation, is we're actually going to go into a breakout group. Now, I'm going to stop my share here. Stephanie, what do we have? We have 34 people. And I think 3 of us are you, me, and Sue Irons. So there's 31 of us, 32. So we're going to go into probably 4 groups of 8. And what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to ask somebody to kick it off, right? And all I'm asking is that you would just share one lifesaver, one person, one ritual or structure that helped you stay afloat and why it mattered. And we're going to do that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to, here's the deal. If nobody says anything, it's going to be kind of awkward because then you're just going to be looking at each other and you're going to be thinking, hey, do I really want to share this? So I encourage that one person to share, and then the rest will usually follow. I'm a man in recovery, by the way. I'll share my story a little bit later, but I do recovery meetings over Zoom, and it's always that first person, right? That first person that needs to break the ice and share, and then it gives everybody else that opportunity to do that. So Stephanie, are we good? We can do our breakout groups. Yeah. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. You're gonna see a thing that comes up, and it's going to say you're being admitted into group, like 2 or whatever. Just click on that, and then Stephanie's going to run the breakout rooms, and you're going to be in that room for like 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll send a text up that says that question again. Would love for you to share one lifesaver, one person, ritual, or structure that helped you stay afloat during times of grief and why it mattered. So
and just
enjoy
so
your
you're
time
aware,
together.
it will not be recorded, the breakout session. So whatever you speak about will stay private.
Yeah. I hope those are good times for you. Great. Well, I hope that was good for everybody. And you had an opportunity to share about those life-saving moments and those life-saving, whether as a person or a ritual or structure. So thanks for sharing with such honesty. It was great to be a part of a couple of groups and to hear what people were talking about. So let's move on to life givers. Again, there's Lusk Reservoir winter scene right there. After the storm, we need breath. We need movement. We need something or someone that helps us rediscover purpose, helps us rediscover connection and hope. And so life givers are the moments that help us breathe again. They're the opportunities that I think nudge us forward. The people who invited us into something new. And sometimes, without even realizing it, we become life givers to others, right? And so there's, as you look at this slide, those opportunities that reignited purpose. And people who invited you into something new. And we just talked about life being a lifesaver. Maybe you were a lifesaver for somebody, or somebody was a lifesaver for you. But now I'd like for us to talk a little bit about what does it mean to be life givers. And so we're gonna do the same thing. By the way, Stephanie and I are not really sure when we let Zoom pick the group. I don't know if you go back to the same group. You might go with somebody new. I hope that happens. I hope you go to somebody new, because then you get to meet 8 new friends. So we're gonna do that again, and we're gonna get ready to move into our breakout group again. And the question I would ask you to think about is, let's shift from what held you to what moved you, right? So if it was maybe just this year or before, or what continued to do that, share one life giver, right? So a moment, an opportunity, or person that helped you move forward, and just share how it helped you breathe again or rediscover purpose. And I hope that this space will be a space of encouragement. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes in a breakout room, and then we'll come back together and we're going to talk about the things that we can offer with AOG moving forward. So let's take about 15 minutes in our breakout groups, and we'll go from there. All right. I hope it's a good session. All right. Okay. Well, welcome back. Thank you again for the courage and generosity you bring to these conversations, to hear just the connection that you have, a place to maybe be vulnerable, and tears, and realizing the things that we miss, and being a part of this together. So I'm just thankful to be here with you again. So we have we've reflected on what holds us and what moves us forward. And so now I kind of want to transition, if we could, to what equips us, right? The resources that support families through transitions. And we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about, there are grief and transition resources. There's planning and clarity tools and opportunities for connection and community. And so these are tools for every season. And just want to let you know that you're not alone in any of them, right? So if you look at the screen here, I love this, right? So this idea, this is just a journey of folks from one of our hikes, and we're hiking together. We got our packs on, and we're making this journey together. And that's really what I hope this part is going to be. And this might be the part where you may want to write down some questions. If you don't feel comfortable asking the question in our question and answer towards the end, you're welcome to write them in the chat, and we can bring them up. Stephanie can do that for us afterwards. But hopefully we'll answer the questions. And also, you're going to get my contact information. It's really easy. It's just chaplaindon@gmail.com. You're welcome to write me if you have any questions, or you're just still struggling with some things and you need somebody to talk to. As you guys know, I just recently retired, so I have a little bit more time on my hands. And so, but yeah, so let's look at this slide right here, right? So building our shared legacy, right? I've titled this "Support for the Journey Ahead." If you look at this, we have, I'm going to bring this into my main screen so I can hopefully, it doesn't matter. Okay. You have grief and transition resources. The Association of Graduates has partnered with TAPS for lots of resources. If you are not familiar yet with TAPS, I encourage you to do so. TAPS, as you know, if you want to see what it is, it stands for, right here, we look at the mission here, right? It's a national nonprofit organization, right? Providing compassionate care and comprehensive resources to all those grieving the death in the military or the veteran community. And if you go to TAPS, it's really easy. It's just taps.org. There's all kinds of resources here. The one that I was bringing up was just caregiver to the survivor, and opportunities. There's the report. There's actions that we're taking, right? Supporting folks who are advocating for you on Capitol Hill, and then you have an opportunity to connect. And so I would really love it if you would look at TAPS as one of your organizations to look for. Likewise, we're going to have some peer support groups. This is a peer support group. If you guys keep coming to our webinars, you're going to see the same people. And maybe you're going to be able to reach out to them. Maybe you're going to chat or text them and say, "Hey, can I get your contact information?" And maybe you can chat. Or, one of the things that I love about being in a community like West Point, I have Stephanie Erickson is the class of 93, and I was class of 94. And class of 93, there were 5 guys, and I was the 6th guy, even though I was class of 94. We were in Glee Club together, and we called ourselves Six Pack. We were a 6-part harmony group, and we're still in a chat together, and we're doing things, BSing about the national championship, but also when things happen and life changes, whether it's retirement. They were all there virtually for my retirement in Garmisch, or they were able to help me when my sister passed away last year. All those things, I pray that you have those type of support groups out there. TAPS also offers grief counseling. If you want information about that, you can see the 24/7 line right there. You can call if you need to talk to somebody. And if you can't reach them, you can talk to me. If you really need someone to talk to, please just reach out to me. Again, chaplaindon@gmail.com, and we'll try and connect. Maybe we'll do so. It is 6 hours difference from the East Coast here, so it's right now 19:15 over here in Germany, but that doesn't matter. We'll get together and we'll get a chance to talk. I would love to talk with you and work through any grief that you have or any challenges that happen. I want to be a resource for you. And then we have the services that we offer in the AOG, right? So if it's been a while since you've gone to the Association of Graduates, please go check out westpointaog.org, and you can go to the services, and there is a long line of services and benefits that we're here to help you with. One of the ones that I find is really, really incredible is the memorial support pre-planning checklist. I had the privilege when I was at West Point as the garrison chaplain. I did 75 funerals, and the ones that I talked to that felt that things went really smoothly were the ones that they had already planned it. The West Point grad had already planned out his memorial service, his or her memorial service with West Point. That's part of the reason why Gretchen and Barbara had to leave our webinar today, because they are helping out with a funeral. It's an incredible, real ministry that the AOG does for the association and for our graduates. Again, if you have any questions about that and you want to ask afterwards, you are welcome to. See, I keep doing this. All right. And then the last one is a way for us to give back, and that is the Class Ring Memorial Program. I was just in the breakout session and got a chance to hear the story about how powerful it was for her to donate her husband's ring to her husband was the class of 64, and so 2014 she gave a ring, and it was part of the ring melt, and it's really an incredible thing to be a part of, and to know that when you melt your ring down, a part of that gold goes into another grad, for the future. And probably one of the most meaningful things for me was being back at West Point and mentoring 3 cadets. I don't know if you remember this, but we used to have what's called battle rings. And it's become a tradition, by the way, to give your battle ring to a parent. And they gave me a battle ring from the class of 23. And because they said, chaplain, you're our father in the faith. And it was really very special to me. But also to see that, the class of 73, they had done their ring melt for the class of 23, and to be a part of that. So that's for our journey ahead, right? And then the next one is how do we build together our shared legacy, right? Maybe it's through membership and advocacy. So if you look at this picture right here, that was from the basketball game when West Point played Duke, because Coach Krzyzewski's was, I think had his number retired or whatever. And of course, Duke destroyed us because they're Duke. But it was cool for us all to be there at the basketball game. And you can see the Survivor Outreach red shirts. If any of you were a part of that, it was great to see. And so just be a part of the program with us, and know that we have a mentorship program for those that have gone through the grief. If you are a widow or a widower and somebody has recently lost their loved one, you can be there and say, I know how you feel. Empathy is an incredible thing, when someone can sit with you and say, I know what you're going through, and I'm so sorry that is happening. Some of the other things that I'm hoping that we'll look at is maybe doing some storytelling initiatives. My classmate is the head of the Department of Oral History at West Point. And to be able to go and to tell your story, and he is willing to talk to anybody about their story, and he has just reams and reams and files upon files. I think they're like MP3s, but of just oral history and videos of telling our story, that we're going to have story to come, right? So my wife and I, she's a class of 92 and I'm a class of 94. And for us to be able to tell our story together was really, really fun. And then the last thing, I'm gonna shift now. I'm gonna stop my share because I'm gonna hand this over to Sue Irons, because she is going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are coming up for us, whether it's going to be our webinars coming up, or some of the VA things that we're working with, or even just our 4th of July celebration. So I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to hand it over to Sue, and she can talk about it.
Thank you, Don. This has been, I feel, like I said in my last group, I feel honored to be a part of this and to assist and help and just be there to walk with you all on our own journeys that we have right now. I am Sue Irons. I graduated from West Point in 1989, and I served in the Army for 7 years after graduation, and then came back to South Dakota, where I'm from and where I still am. I would get to work remotely for the West Point Association of Graduates, and I've raised a family, 5 kids. I have 3 currently serving on active duty right now. A daughter that graduated from West Point in 2020, and I have a helicopter pilot and an air traffic controller. Those are my other 2 kids. My oldest and youngest are they are agronomists in South Dakota. So with that, what do I do at AOG? I am the Veteran Services Specialist, and what that role does is it helps graduates navigate the VA. So what I do, I educate our graduates and their families about VA benefits and connect them to resources that hopefully will help them access those benefits. And then, what we can do as a community, and this is one of them, is come together and help those that we know and so we can help them get their benefits. These are earned benefits that veterans have. So if you went to West Point and you, even if you didn't graduate from West Point, but you went to West Point as a cadet for a short period of time, or or whatever, that makes you possibly eligible for veteran benefits. And so each person's journey, veteran's journey, is different. And so what I do is I can help people navigate. So I can't remember if it was a breakout session or if it was just in one of our sharing, but the paperwork, after you lose a loved one, after your veteran passes, there is so much paperwork, whether it's, just the personal stuff, but when the VA when they find out that your veteran has passed, they send you a thick packet. What I can do is assist with that in understanding what that means to you. And every veteran's journey is slightly different, and so it could depend on that journey what benefits you could be entitled to. So I help sort that out, and it's overwhelming and confusing, and it seems repetitive, and then there's also if your veteran was a retiree, then there's more paperwork there as well, or if they work for the government, just in that. So I help with that. And so that's what I do, and what we have within our classes and our societies. We are standing up a network of volunteers that will help as well. So that, if you're your classmates, your class leadership, if you had questions about VA things, they're and again, not every class or not every society has these VVSLs, Volunteer Veteran Services Liaisons, individuals yet, but they might. So ask your leadership of your society or your class too, if there's anybody that can help. And I'm here as well. So we're here to support each other during this our next steps on our journey. Next month, on February 10th, at the same time, so noon Eastern time, I will be conducting an educational webinar about survivor benefits and talking about the VA benefits, and kind of breaking things down, and hopefully to make it more understandable than the big thick packet that you get from the VA. And this is also, if you yourself are a veteran, this is also information for you to know as well. So it's just, we'll just do kind of an overview of that. And then again, there will be a lot of questions that come from that, and that's what I'm here for, is to help answer those questions. So February 10th at noon Eastern time, and there will be correspondence coming to you as well to with the link and more information on that. The other big event I want to talk to you about is the first week in July, so from July 1st through July 5th. There, you may have heard a little bit of information about that, but we are going to be hosting a survivor community outreach event at West Point. And at this, during this, it's 5 days, so it's going to be a big event. But it starts on Wednesday, July 1st. Again, that'll be bringing everybody together, and having, just meeting and getting to know each other. And so that will be the first evening. And then the second day, on Thursday, there will be events at West Point. So these will be different activities and tours and things, but coming back to West Point, and, like Don had mentioned, that common bond of our rockbound Highland home. And so we'll get to experience that together. On Friday the 3rd, we will have some breakout sessions, and there will be, that will probably be at the host hotel, and different groups and things, possibly similar to what we had in November at our inaugural society community outreach event, or survivor community outreach event. And then on Saturday, July 4th, we are going to be all in on the 250th celebration of Independence Day. And so there's going to be a lot of activity happening at West Point, but our survivors are going to have a special, special pass, special seat throughout all of that, and get to experience a lot of things during that time. So there will be, as there always is, a concert on Trophy Point. We'll be able to have special seating for that. And then after the concert, then there will be a large fireworks celebration. And we, as a survivor community, will be able to be together through that and get to experience that at West Point. So it's going to be a really special event. And then Then after, it's and then the last day on the 5th, that'll be our departure day. So there's going to be a lot of information coming about that, and that is going to, you'll start seeing that next month during February. And what we want to, and this is, so yes, there'll be information about that, but we want to hear back from you. What types of activities, what types of information would you as a survivor like to see or have experience during this event? So anytime you get any information sent to you, please respond back. We want to we're creating this group for all of you and want to support you as best we can, and we can only do that by hearing from you. So I encourage you to do that. I think that's all I have done. I don't know if you have any. I think we're going to open it up to question and answer, and then take it from there.
Yeah. Thanks, Sue. Yeah, so we have kind of been on a pretty fast journey, right? So hopefully this has been beneficial for you guys. The last slide, when we end, I'll have my email there. And if you are interested in having these slides, I'm happy to share that link for you. That's just on my Google Drive, and I'll just share the link with you. It's just, there's nothing confidential about it. It's just the slides that I gave you. So I would love it if you guys want to have any information. But is there anything that maybe for the large group here, if anybody has any questions of maybe things that we want to go back to, we can go back to on, some resources that are available or anything like that. If you have any questions right now, we could answer that. If not, you guys can always email me. Mary, I think I see you talking, but I don't.
I'm trying to talk. It's lovely to have all that stuff at West Point. And you in the Dakotas know how tough it is. For most of the country, it is a beast to get back there. It's dangerous, it's hard, it's expensive. There's no place to stay. The Thayer needs to expand to the size of
the Gaylord, probably. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just it's lovely to hear about it, but it's even reunions are tough. It's and you can't do anything about it. I'm just belly aching.
Yeah,
because especially if people have mobility issues, you can't do it. So stop tempting us.
I hear you. I mean, I'm hearing. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Do you want to? Yeah, just gotta unmute. There you go.
So, I'll tag on to what was just said, really, in that, it's one darn thing to go back to West Point, which I've done many times with my spouse when he was alive. But, as a solo traveler, travel is a little bit harder. And I might, decide to drive there instead of fly. But nonetheless, the whole experience, if you'd like to have survivors who are all basically going to be solos, it might be important to really focus on, hotel transportation from that crazy airport, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's just not a good thing. But also another point is in the communications channels. We've made some good progress today and met some people in these chat rooms, but it would be nice to have an opportunity to actually get a means to communicate with the people that we were involved in, perhaps in the chats or whatever, without having to go onto a massive website and just, figure this stuff out on our own. So, some sort of list of people and their contact information. And I don't know if that's beyond, maybe that's a HEPA thing or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it would be nice to be able to offer means for people to continue communicating. That's it.
Well, that's why you have folks like Sue and Stephanie who are writing things down as, hey, good things to know, and we're gonna hopefully continue to improve. I had this wild idea. Maybe we would just, get a West Point bus and we'll just like go pick up everybody. Just do this big loop around the United States. I don't know. That would be crazy, but
That would be
be one
crazy.
heck of a road show. It'd be good. Yeah.
Well, last
course,
time I went to West Point was for a funeral, and I ended up at the airport, and it was at that particular time where you couldn't even, I didn't realize it at the time, but you couldn't sit down in the restaurant and order breakfast. You had to do it through an iPad. And I was like, I don't know, I must have sat there for half an hour. Give me a break here, I mean, just some sort of opportunity to have not that horrible experience trying to attend an event by, better resources available for, pickups at the airport or, what have you. It's just, it's a difficult place to get to.
I hear you. I appreciate you guys sharing that, though, being real and honest here. Appreciate that. Well,
I've got an admin question.
Sure.
The list of people that you send invitations to, like for this thing today, I'm not sure where you're getting that from, because I was up there in November and I was on the December call that we had, and I didn't get an invitation today. I had a friend that had forwarded me the invitation, so I'm not sure, I'm not sure what happened.
Or I'll look at it and see why you weren't on it. You should have been. So I'll check your information. Thank you for letting me know, and I'll reach out to you privately.
Sure.
I, on the other hand, received 2 invitations.
Oh, maybe you got mine.
One in my spam folder and one in my real folder. So are there 2 lists?
No, there's one list, and I'm not sure why you would have gotten it twice. Suzanne, what's your last name?
Rice, R-I-C-E, like you eat.
Okay, I'll look at your information too.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to have some way of accessing the people who've spoken, like Susan Irons. I have never received anything, not, as they say, jack shit from the VA. So I'm a lawyer. I can work with big packets. But I never got them.
Yeah.
I have one more thing, and it's a relatively new adventure that you're involved in, trying to put this all together, and I think it's a great idea. What might be appropriate is to have some sort of a calendar of event, because while we are all solos at this point in time, we do have lives and we do have things going on, but it would be nice to have an advance notice so that we can sort of make sure we can attend. I think the last survivor thing that was last year, I think we got a notice, or at least I did, like a week in advance for a road trip. Well, that's not enough time. So a calendar of events, and with the contact information of the people who are going to be speaking, that would be a step in the right direction from an admin standpoint, in my opinion.
And thank you for that. And we are working on getting that information out to you in a more timely manner. Where we apologize that you've been given short notice, but especially with the webinars, we are going to start probably sending a webinar information out like Sue told you about today, and then 3 weeks out, a week out, and then the day of for webinars. And we'll start getting the calendar of events at least through July out to you, probably in those emails also.
That'd be perfect. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome.
They didn't want to do too far advanced with me. They didn't want to scare you guys away. So, but All right. Hey, it has, go ahead.
I have one more thing. I received the invitation. I sent it to our committee, the Class of 69 Widow Committee leader, and said, don't you think we should send this out to everyone, to all the widows? And he said yes. So the class sent it out to all the widows. But I got the impression that you had to sign up for something in order to be on your list. Is that correct? Or can we just send it out to all the widows we have? We have 125 widows or so right now.
You can send it out. They should all be on the list that we're emailing out to everybody. We sent this invitation out to 6,000 survivor community in the West Point community. So they should all have received it. But if you want to send out as a reminder, please feel free to share and make sure everybody knows about it.
Well, I checked with a few and they said they didn't get it. So that was my concern. So, I mean, they got it from us, from the class, but they didn't get it from AOG. By the way, one other thing, if you would put on the subject line, West Point, something, West Point, a lot of people that I talked to, at least it was same for me. I saw a Survivor thing, whatever it was entitled. I didn't recognize it as West Point. I had no idea what it was. In fact, I thought it was probably a, spam. So if you would put something that indicates that you're West Point or AOG or something like that in the subject line as well, I think that would be very helpful.
Oh, thank you for all that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it has been just an absolute joy and a privilege to be here with you all. And I'm just so thankful and honored that AOG would ask me to do this. I'm a part of the Long Gray Line, but also, part of the survivor community as well. So, as we close, I wanted to leave you with this image. It's a life ring on the dock and a boat full of people rowing together. As a reminder that even in the strongest currents that we're never alone and we carry legacy, we offer life and the river carries us forward together. And so this is my prayer here is that you would find calm waters in 2026, that you would be a lifesaver to others, and that we would move forward with courage and grace. I wouldn't be a chaplain if I didn't ask if it'd be all right if I could just leave you a blessing. And that blessing is known as the Aaronic blessing. Aaron would say it to all the troops before they would go out to war. Yes. And we're in a battle together. So if I could, I just want to bless you with this. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Peace as you leave this place. Peace as you go about your day, wherever you are in the world. And peace throughout 2026. And may God bring us peace through the Prince of Peace. And all God's people said, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you again. You saw there, maybe it was too fast, but chaplaindon@gmail.com. Don't do Charlie Chaplin. It's CHAPLAIN, chaplaindon@gmail.com, and I'll get it. So, all right. Thank you, Miss Stephanie.
Thank you.
You're in charge here. So, God bless, guys.